fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. So I have a question that says, share a personal story of a time when you had to summon courage to stand up for someone in need. I believe that time was when I was in the 7th grade. This is around the time when Iraq was at war and you saw Afghanistan and everything of that sort. And I remember I had a classmate who was bullied by everybody because their family came from Pakistan. And they wore hijab. I think his sister wore a hijab and he wore a tufi, the Muslim hat. And he stood out like a sore thumb. Everybody picked on him. Everybody called him terrorist. And I knew him since we were in elementary school, and I always felt bad for him. And it was hard for me to stand up for him because everybody was making fun of him. But one day in science class, I more or less kind of turned around and said, hey, leave him alone. He's not bothering you. He's not a terrorist. He's an American just like you and me. And they kept, picking at me. He said, oh, so you stand up for terrorists? I said, he's not a terrorist. He's an American. He has nothing to do with what's going on over there. Leave him alone. And after a little few back and forth, they finally got the picture and said, okay, we'll leave him alone. And I remember he came up to me and he said, no one ever stood up for me. And I really appreciate that because everybody was against him. And I probably would have been in the same boat if, I stood up for him because they would more or less pick on me too. But I realized that I had to have courage at that point to say that I believe that one should stand up for someone when they're in need, because I would want them to stand up for me. I would want someone to look to me and say, hey, you shouldn't treat him this way because he's done nothing wrong. And I believe in the principle, the golden rule, treat others the way you'd like to be treated. I was taught that as a child. And I believed I had to have courage because there's a lot of risk involved with me doing that. And the fact that I did that was one of the proudest moments of my life. So thank you very much.